Yes. Hello there, this is Professor Warsi. I'm very happy that you're enjoying the lessons and writing comments with questions and requests for more lessons. Some of you have asked me to prepare a lesson on irregular verbs, and I can understand why it may be difficult to learn. So today, I have put together, based on your request, to honor your request, irregular verbs, a lesson on irregular verbs in English. My goal is to help you understand, practice, and apply irregular verbs in your writing with ease. So let's get started. So what are they? You may have heard regular verbs such as kick, kiss, drive, learn, call. Irregular verbs do not follow the standard rule of adding an ed suffix to the base form. Okay? If you remember, if you took the lesson on regular verbs, they follow an ed to form a past tense. So call becomes called. Okay? But in irregular verbs, there are no specific rules, and it's no wonder that they're very difficult to understand or even learn. So look at some of the examples here. Basically, you need to learn and memorize. You really have to pay attention to people around you who speak English and listen very carefully how they use irregular verbs. So go is the base form, and it becomes, in past tense, it becomes went, and past participle is gone. Now this is something that cannot be explained because there are no hard and fast rules. You just have to learn that the irregular verb forms of go is went and gone, take, took, taken, drink, drank, drunk. Okay? All right. So, as I just explained to you, what are some of the key features of irregular verbs? First and foremost, they're unpredictable, right? They don't follow a certain pattern, unlike regular verb, which take ed, the past suffix. What are some of the irregular verbs that are frequently used in daily conversations? Eat, ate, eaten. So these three examples that I've given you, the first word, they are all regular verbs. Eat, see, run, right? Such as, I want to eat something. But if you did the act of eating in the past, then it does not become eaten. You say, I ate something, or I have already eaten. All right, so some examples of irregular verbs are, in the left column, I've given you base forms, go, eat, see, run, write, and then the past simple and past participle forms. I've also given you an example of each to understand. For example, she went to the store. In the past participle form, you would say, she has gone to the store. I have eaten lunch already. Have you seen my keys? Okay? The last one is hidden by my talking head there. It says she has written a novel. All right? So these are some examples of some common irregular verbs in English. Okay. But what are some rules to remember? Earlier I said there are no rules. But why rules to remember? I mean, what is it that you must remember? And the first thing is that there are no consistent pattern. I said this earlier. But just to reinforce, they do not have a fixed rule for changing forms. Like take becomes took, and took becomes taken. But there's no certain rules, because in other words, they take on a different form. Okay? So past and past participle forms, base, past, and past participle of sing, for example. Sing becomes sang. I sang a song last night. And the past participle form is sung. I have sung this song before. Correct? So those are some of the rules that I need you to remember as you learn irregular verbs. Okay. So let's do a quick exercise, a short exercise. I have done the first example for your reference so you can practice. Go ahead and complete the exercise. I have never seen, the verb in parentheses is see, such a beautiful sunset. So say, I have never seen such a beautiful sentence. I want you to do the rest, and for each verb in parentheses, I need you to use the irregular form. All right? So take a few minutes, maybe a couple minutes, and complete the exercise before we move on. Let's do another exercise to solidify learning. Identify the errors, okay? Each of these sentences, they have a mistake, an error. So can you rewrite these sentences correctly? He has run to the store. I have saw the movie twice. Can you identify the errors, rewrite the sentences using the correct irregular verb? Okay? All right. The third exercise is to match the forms. So there's a base form in the left column. In the middle column is past simple, and the right column is past participle. Sing, break, swim, buy, and take. These 5 base forms. So write the past simple form of each of these verbs, and then write the past participle forms. Okay? All right, so practice just to understand, fully understand how irregular verbs are formed in English. Okay? So what are some of the tips? You need to use irregular verbs in sentences and when you speak to someone, when you're having a conversation with someone. Okay? So sing, sang, sung. Remember the irregular verbs there, they come in groups. Drink, drank, drunk. So the drink is the base form, past form is drank, and past participle form is drunk. All right? So as you read, if you're in school or you're in college, you're learning English, use index cards, flashcards, notebooks, and write the base, past, and participle forms. That is one effective way of learning irregular verbs. And of course, use real life context. You go to and see a movie and just pay attention, listen to the dialogue, and see how speakers use irregular verbs when they speak. All right? You can read books. Just pay attention to people around you, your classmates or your professors or your teachers, and pay attention to how they use irregular verbs. Okay? All right. So let's just summarize this. It's a very short lesson, but quick. Summarize what we learned so far. We learned that irregular verbs do not have any particular conjugation rule. They don't follow a particular conjugation rules in the sense that you can't follow a pattern and say take becomes took and taken, then it doesn't quite apply to drive, drove, driven, right? So some examples of irregular verbs that are frequently used is, I'll go and I went, and I will have, I have gone to so and so a place. Let's say I've gone to this museum, for example. Write, wrote, written, drive, drove, driven. So that's the summary. And let's do a quick quiz before I give you the answers to the exercises that you did before. Can you just complete these sentences? I have left a blank space before each base form of the verb. He has break his phone. They swim in the lake yesterday. I have choose my major. In the blank space, I need you to write the correct irregular form of the verb. Okay? So let's do this. This should take you just a few seconds. It's a very short quiz. And now on to the answers. So here are the answers to exercise 1. If you took notes, look in your notes, compare, match up the answers, and see how many answers you got correct. Okay? The answers to exercise 2 are as follows. All right, do the same. Match up the answers and see how well you did the exercise. And lastly, the last exercise, exercise 3. I asked you to write the past simple and past participle forms of the base form, and these are the correct answers. All right? Okay, so as I always ask you to practice, keep practicing. It's very important. The more you live in English, the more English will live in you. All right, so work hard, keep practicing, speak English, read in English, write in English. And if you have any requests for more lessons, any grammar rules, or even about reading and writing in general, please write in your comment box and I'll prepare those lessons, especially for you. So thank you for watching. Do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon for updates, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.